John Michael Jeanette in the number 82. Transmission problems on that ride. He will not be in the starting grid here today. And unfortunately, the number 14 for Bobby Meismer Jr., the ZMAX Racing Electronics machine, not in the starting lineup. He finished second here last year. He came from 17th in the starting grid to finish second, not here. Blew an engine during practice earlier today. So John Michael Jeanette not able to start because of transmission problem and engine problems for Bobby Meismer Jr. as well. We look forward to both of those drivers for joining us again at another event on the Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic this year. Next week, we'll be a little bit east of here, Rougemont, North Carolina. Orange County Speedway, going to be a lot of fun to watch the modifieds on that high-banked racetrack. Last year had a heck of a run. Bobby Labonte with the victory at Orange County last year. But we will be there next Saturday night in Rougemont, North Carolina. Just to let you know what's going on right now, the drivers getting inside their race cars, buckling up. They will pull around to the front stretch, and we will introduce you to all of the drivers in today's starting lineup. As I mentioned, next week we're at Orange County Speedway. You're not going to want to miss that big event in Rougemont, North Carolina. Great shot from the Carolina Drilling Citrus Safe Grill Cleaners drone during our broadcast here on FloRacing. You can see all of the Smart Modified Tour events on FloRacing, modified action from Bowman Gray Stadium as well, the Cars Tour, and a whole lot more. In fact, the closeout for the Smart Modified Tour will come with the Cars Tour at North Wilkesboro Speedway, just down the road from here. This racetrack, Higgins family have done such a fine job at resurrecting Tri-County Speedway. Every time we come here, the place gets more and more immaculate. Beautiful when we walked in here today to go modified racing right here in between the mountains and the heart of stock car country just south of us. Several of the drivers hoping for good runs here today. In fact, one of them, the red and white number 15 for Brian Lofton out of Lexington, North Carolina. Lofton, miserable start to the season for him. Had a blown engine during practice last week at South Boston Speedway. Was not able to start that event. He is a big-time winner in Smart Modified Tour competition and a former winner at this racetrack. In fact, in 2 races here, he's got a victory and a second-place run to Bobby Labonte last year. But Lofton, this is a brand-new car for him. Had never seen the racetrack prior to today. And they did have some oil pressure and a vibration problem underneath the hood of that car. They got it cleared up in time for Pace-O-Matic Pole Award qualifying, and he was able to put in a good time. He's in the starting lineup. No matter where he starts here today, Brian Lofton could be a factor. Let's crank things up here today at Tri-County Speedway, and we'll bring everybody around to the front stretch to be able to let you know who is starting where in our starting lineup. Carson Lofton, the number 23, that is Brian's son, Carson Lofton. What a start to the season for this now 16-year-old. He became the youngest winner in Smart Tour history when he won the opener at Florence Speedway at 15 years, 11 months, and 3 days. Those 2 victories last week looked to be having a good run. Had some trouble early in the King of the Modifieds event at South Boston Speedway and did not have the finish that he would have liked to have had. Outside the top 10 for the first time this year for Carson Lofton last week at South Boston. Burt Myers Loves Tri-County Speedway. Myers, the Pace-O-Matic Pole Award winner in that Peanut Patch Backyard Leisure Pool and Spas. Citrus Safe Grill Cleaners #1. He's out of Walnut Cove, North Carolina. Our defending series champion. And thank you to Citrus Safe, as well as Carolina Drilling, for bringing us the drone coverage during today's FloRacing broadcast as well. And this is high above Tri-County Speedway in Granite Falls, North Carolina. Beautiful part of the country, and look at that infield packed with haulers, race cars, and more today. And all the campers along turns 1 and 2 and down the backstretch as well. Great vantage point for all the fans. So if you don't want to get out of your car, and take a look at that. There's the beautiful countryside today that surrounds Tri-County Speedway. You see the mountains off in the distance. That's where I'm from, up in Boone. And then down to the Mooresville, Hickory, North Carolina, down to the southwest of here. And again, Citrus Safe Grill Cleaners. If you've never tried the product, you need to. If it's race season, then it's grilling season. And Citrus Safe, you spray that on your grill, wipe it away in just moments, prepares you for some good grilling, whether it's burgers or barbecue or a whole lot more. Folks, here come the modifieds on the front stretch at Tri-County. Feel the vibration of these 600 horsepower engines rattle the cement grandstands here at Tri-County. Let's go through the starting lineup for today's Cardinal 99 at Tri-County Speedway. Starting 19th, a former crate modified champion in this area. He's out of Louisville, North Carolina, in the Jerry Hunt Supercenter #31. It's Cody Norman. Starting 18th on the outside row, from Reedy Creek, North Carolina, an 8th place run last week at South Boston Speedway in the King of the Modifieds. It's the 21 of Jimmy Wallace. Starting to his inside in spot number 17. He's in a good-looking yellow number 48 car. New paint scheme on the side of that race car. For the driver of the 48, Johnny K out of Florida. Starting 16th. He's in the Pace-O-Matic 16 VA for Sadler Stanley Racing. Finished 4th last week at South Boston Speedway in the King of the Modifieds event out of Oxford, North Carolina. Put your hands together for Jonathan Cash. Making his first start of the season with a smart modified tour powered by Pace-O-Matic. He's the driver of the number 8. That is a black and yellow, bright yellow race car for a super stock competitor out of the Empire State of New York for Chris Finichario. Starting 14th, he admitted not a good qualifying run for him here today, but he wasn't focused on qualifying. He's out of Walnut Cove, North Carolina, and a 40-time NASCAR modified winner at Bowman Gray Stadium. It's Jason Myers, the working man here at Tri-County. Starting 13th, maybe this will be lucky for him here today because he's had bad luck to start the season in the Mike Smith Andretti. Number 25 out of Statesville, North Carolina, it's Tommy Buzzy. Starting 12th. He won here 2 years ago at Tri-County Speedway. Finished 2nd last year. He loves this racetrack. He's out of Clemens, North Carolina, in the Shady Grady Racing number 15 for Brian Lofton. Yep. Starting 11th. He's a former NASCAR Truck Series winner. Driving the Gray Ghost, number 02, with Bill Stein on the side of that race car. He's out of Florida, Joey Coulter. And now let's meet your top 10 drivers in the starting lineup. This next driver is out of Connecticut, driving one of the most famous rides in all of Southern Modified Racing. With Sundrop on the side of this 79 car for Hillbilly Racing, it's 2-time SK Modified winner at Stafford Motor Speedway in Connecticut, Anthony Bello. This next driver, who will start 9th, he's the driver of the black number 12. They call him the Snake. Finished 2nd here in 2007 in a UARA event. That's a late model stock car series from old Jake Crum. Starting 8th, hoping to get back to victory lane. Danny Bone is a 16-time winner in NASCAR modified competition at the Madhouse, Bowman Gray Stadium. He's out of Freehold, New Jersey, and he'll start 8th here today in the 24. Danny Bone. Starting 7th, another third-generation modified racer. This kid is out of Jackson, New Jersey. In the Gumley Motorsports number 27, it's Blake Barney. Starting 6th in the 23 car. That car synonymous with Southern Modified Racing. His dad, Brian Lofton, ran that car for so many years, and now his 16-year-old kid, Carson Lofton, will start 6th today here at Tri-County. A fan favorite will start 5th after winning the Pace-O-Matic Pole Award today in the number 1 car out of Walnut Cove, North Carolina. It's Bert the Ace Myers. Another teenager in today's starting lineup became a king 1 week ago at South Boston Speedway. He's driver of the Pace-O-Matic 7VA for Sadler Stanley Racing out of Mooresville, North Carolina. It's Luke Baldwin. And all the way from Howell, New Jersey, they call this guy Showtime, and there's a reason for it. He's won 7 times on the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour. The number 99 for Jamie Tomato, it's Jimmy Blewett. And on the front row for this one, on the inside of the front row right now, you see the number 2 car. That's the Shitty Coolers machine with aggressive hydraulics on it as well. Ryan Newman, the Daytona 500 winner, SRX champion. He will start on that front row, scheduled to start 2nd, but Will Lambros will have the choice as whether he wants the inside or outside groove. And that's why right now, Will Lambros in that number 77 machine. He's out of Northport, New York, a road racer sponsored by Skip Barber Racing. Will Lambros will have the choice, inside or out, for the start of the Cardinal 99. All right, folks, help me out here. We're going to have the command to fire engines today at Tri-County Speedway. On the count of 3, we're going to go. 3, 2, 1. Drivers, start your engines. And just a little correction, Will Lambros in that number 77 car will indeed start on the point here today. He'll lead the field to the green flag. See a cool sign down towards turn number 1. A lot of fans of particular drivers in the starting lineup here today. And a sign down there for the number 24 of Danny Bone. Hoping for a good run today for the driver out of New Jersey. And the Paul French owned, the Buddy Ellis owned number 24. Good field of modifieds here today. We're excited to be with you for the Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic event with the Cardinal 99. I'm Bob Dillner. This one's going to be special. Alongside of me in the booth, from App State University, Ryan Hendricks. Ryan, you've been to a few of these shows over the past couple of weeks, and I know you're excited to call some great racing action today here at Tri-County Speedway. What have you thought over the couple of races that you've seen so far?
Bob, I can't be more excited to be out here at the Tri-County Speedway today. And over the past couple of weeks, these Smart Modified has been some of the best racing I have ever seen. It's been very exciting, and we've seen some teenagers really get to work out here and get some great racing done and some great victories at the top.
Will Lambros assumes his position as the pole sitter of this race in that white number 77. By the way, that's not a new race car. It was red prior to South Boston last week, but he was involved in that big melee near the end of the race in turn number 3. They had to put a new body on that race car this week. On the outside, Ryan Newman, trouble for him at South Boston last week. He had finishes of 3rd and 2nd in the first 2 races of the year, but Ryan Newman knocking on the door for his first victory with the Smart Modifieds.
Yeah, and Ryan Newman's been doing very good these past 2 weeks. Start of the year, Got him to third place finish at Florence and a second place finish over at Cairo. But as you said, Bob, so many cars on the King of the Modifieds last week that he just moved down the point standings ever so slightly. But he looks to rebound big time today.
You talk about some experience differential. Look at that second row. Jimmy Blewett, Luke Baldwin. Those two will be factors here today. We're doubling up next time?
Yeah, one lap to the JB. One to the JB, then double.
Yep. Youth has gone wild so far in the Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic. Two teenagers winning the first 3 events of the season. Will that trend continue here today, or will we see a veteran in Pace-O-Matic victory lane at the end of 99 laps? All right, folks, we want your attention right on that flag stand on the front stretch. We want you to stand up because this is what it's all about. It's time to salute the stars of the Smart Modified Tour. They're going to come around turn number 4, and we want you waving everything, your hats, your hands, your phones, you name it. Folks, this is 600 horsepower. It's the ground pounders. It's the mighty modifieds. This is the Smart Modified Tour with the Cardinal 99 at Tri-County Speedway. Great job, JB. He'll throw the green flag. Next time by, it'll be 1 to go until we go green for 99 grueling laps here at Tri-County. Jeff Bunton will put the 1 flag in the air to let these teams know we're going green next time by under sunny conditions in Granite Falls, North Carolina. Listen to the power of these race cars. 15-inch tires, low to the ground, no fenders, big Nerf bars on the side of these race cars. These things are something special. Rocket ships on wheels, and you will be treated to some unbelievable racing today here in the Cardinal 99 at Tri-County. Will Lambros, the road racing kid, 20 years old, with 46-year-old Ryan Newman alongside of him, will bring the field to the green flag. Ladies and gentlemen, by the grace of God and 600 horsepower, we are green at Tri-County for the Cardinal 99. Lambros able to grab the lead. Look at the battle for second now. Tomato on the inside of Ryan Newman.
We see Jimmy Blewett working his way in as well. Up to the outside is second. Lambros leads him back to the green flag.
Blewett gets second. Burt Myers going for third now. Myers in the peanut patch. Backyard Leisure Pools and Spas number 1 with Citrus Safe on the side of that one as well. The Pace-O-Matic pole sitter. He loses the spot to Ryan Newman. And here comes Luke Baldwin alongside.
Yeah, Luke Baldwin riding high after that big win over the King of the Modifieds last week. Working his way outside right now. Going to work to the inside of Ryan Newman.
Baldwin able to get to 4th. Myers falling by the wayside. The groove is not right on the bottom here. Carson Lofton now moves up into the 5th spot. Myers under fire for another position. It's Blake Barney who slips up in turn number 3, goes up the racetrack. That will allow Burt Myers to settle in behind Carson Lofton.
And Blake Barney almost slipped all the way up into the wall out there. Seems like he's worked back to the inside, working inside of Burt Myers now, coming into turn 3.
Blake Barney in the number 27 car. Had a tough run at South Boston Speedway. He said it's been difficult for him. He doesn't know these racetracks, learning some things. There is Luke Baldwin. Baldwin and Newman going at it. Newman pitching him off going into turn number 3. Battle for third right now between Baldwin and Newman.
And Newman's still looking to get back into the group this year.
Newman alongside one of the toughest competitors in the business, has run just about everything. USAC Silver Crown cars, modifieds, cup cars, SRX cars, you name it. But Newman loses the position to Luke Baldwin for third. Single file within the top 10 so far. Will Lambros leads his first lap since Smart competition. Jimmy Blewett is in second. Luke Baldwin is in third. Ryan Newman in fourth, and Carson Lofton in fifth. Lofton is the point leader coming into race number 4. The defending champ Burt Myers back in 6th. 7th is Blake Barney. Jake Crum back in 8th. The 24 of Danny Bone in 9th, and Joey Coulter in the 02 rounds out the top 10. There is Tommy Buzzy in the blue and white, number 25, battling with Brian Lofton in the brand new race car here for Lofton at this racetrack.
Yeah, Brian Lofton blew the engine last week at the King of the Modifieds. Has some trouble through practice today, but he seems like he has settled back in nice and that car's running smooth.
That team had a lot to do here today, a vibration and then oil pressure problems underneath the hood for Brian Lofton. But if anybody can turn things around, he can. That car had never been on a racetrack prior to today. A brand new chassis for Brian Lofton.
And no better place for Brian Lofton to try to get back into his groove. We know back in 2022 he got a win here. Not the start he wanted at all this season so far, Bob, yet to earn a top 10.
Buzzy gets by Bello, the 25 by the 79. So move Tommy Buzzy, who's hoping to improve his season just a little bit here today at Tri-County after a tough start to the season. Oh, look at this battle here. A little contact between Burt Myers and Carson Lofton. Those two go at it.
And you know Burt Myers is a little bit frustrated with how these youngins are doing so far this season. Burt Myers, one of the veterans this year, is a 3-time champion in Smart Modified competition. Not the start of the year he wanted. Still doing pretty solid, though.
11 wins for Burt Myers in Smart Modified Tour competition. Right now, a lot of people just biding their time a little bit. We're going to look a little bit further back as we got a battle building around the 10th spot right now. Jake Crum and Joey Coulter going at it. Jake Crum has the A spot, and Brian Lofton up in smoke going down the backstretch. We just told you that team had oil pressure problems and a vibration underneath the hood during practice here today. They had a blown engine 1 week ago at South Boston, and Brian Lofton is headed back down pit road. It has been a miserable start for veteran Brian Lofton this year.
It sure has, Bob. And Brian Lofton is very unfortunate to see this happen to him this early on in the race at one of his favorite tracks at Tri-County Motor Speedway today. And to see his son, Carson Lofton, do so well to start the year, you know he wanted to get a rebound today. But right now, heading back to the pits, let's hope he can rebound.
And we have a trail of fluid around this racetrack that's going to allow us here on the FloRacing broadcast to take a quick break and come back with more exciting racing action from the Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic.
Gotcha. Okay. What do you want me to do when you tap me? Do you want me to go into some stuff over here? Talk about what's on the screen. Okay, I got you. I got you. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. I'm trying to get the track going. About gets the outside wall so when you roll it down,
Some cleanup right now in the Cardinal 99 for the Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic. Right here at Tri-County Speedway, we are live on FloRacing, and you can see a trail of fluid, oil put down on the racetrack from Brian Lofton. That car blew up here today early in this race, just 15 laps complete of 99, and a great look at Tri-County Speedway from the Carolina Drilling CitraSafe Grill Cleaners drone camera. You see all the haulers in the infield. The cars now lined up on the backstretch of this racetrack to allow the safety crew to clean up the oil that has been put down from Brian Lofton's engine around this racetrack. Early on, it's been all Will Lambros leading his first laps in Smart Modified Tour competition. Hard to believe that this kid started his first Tour Time Modified event just about a month ago at Florence Speedway in Timmonsville, South Carolina.
What do you need me to do, help you do?
And Lambros has been strong opening to events, was involved in the big one at South Boston Speedway late in the race in the King of the Modifieds event at Sobo last week. And right now, it's all Carson Lofton on top of the standings. 6 points back is Luke Baldwin. And as they run right now, Carson Lofton currently in the 5th spot. Luke Baldwin in the 3rd spot. So those two neck and neck, not only in the point standings after 3 races, but also here on the racetrack. Burt Myers, the defending series champ, having a good run, and he needs it here today. Right now, he's 4th in the standings.
He sure does need it, Bob. And looking beyond past that, we look over to Joey Coulter. Joey Coulter had himself a top 5 finish at Florence earlier in the year. He played pretty solid at Caraway as well, getting himself down in 10th. Not the finish he wanted last week, though, at the King of the Modifieds at South Boston.
A lot of the drivers caught up in the big one last week at South Boston. One of them, the most notable, Ryan Newman, he dropped from 2nd in points all the way to 7th. And then you have Jason Myers, who had 2 top 10 finishes to start the season for the working man out of Walnut Cove, North Carolina, and then trouble last week. 12, 13 cars collected in the big one at the end of that King of the Modifieds event. So right now, cleaning up the racetrack. It's going to be a long one because Brian Lofton put some fluid down turns 1 and 2 on different parts of this racetrack. So the safety team attending to that, race director up here, David Hoots, checking things out, and we'll let them clean up. We're going to go to break again here on FloRacing and come back and hopefully know a little bit more about the cleanup process as the teams from the racetrack look around this track to make sure there's no fluid left when we go green once again here at Tri-County.
We get it covered on the pit road. Clean up covered one time down pit road, then we can start letting cars clean up the oil dry like it's due.
That's where it started. Yeah, but like if we can come. be under red? Because I don't see red. Okay. So we're just under caution. We have a stoppage here today during the Cardinal 99 at Tri-County Speedway for the Smart Modified Tour. Oil put down around this racetrack by Brian Lofton. Bad break for him. Last week blew an engine at South Boston, and now engine trouble, fluid coming from out underneath of that power plant today here at Tri-County as well. Right now we are located in between the mountains, Blowing Rock in Boone, North Carolina, and Hickory, North Carolina in Caldwell County. This is called the foothills of North Carolina as you head up towards the mountains right off of Route 321, just a couple of miles. Population of Granite Falls, just over about 3,000 people. We're excited to be here today. Second consecutive year, or third consecutive for the Smart Modified Tour. Brian Lofton, who is now in the infield, won in 2022. Last year, Bobby Labonte beat Brian Lofton. And now the team starting to fire up as they are on the backstretch here at Tri-County. You see the 27 car of Blake Barney. Barney hoping for good fortune here today, hoping to run the entire season with the Smart Modified Tour powered by Pace-O-Matic. Barney right now 14th in the point standings after 3 races. Great shot from the Carolina Drilling CitraSafe Grill Cleaners drone. Thank you to Philip and everybody for flying that. And you can see the buds popping out from the trees. A little bit lower elevation from where I'm from. We have no buds on the trees right now. We're starting to almost see leaves down here in Granite Falls, North Carolina. I'm Bob Diller. Alongside of me, Ryan Hendricks. Ryan, your first event on the microphone, but you've been watching these modifieds for a while, especially this season. You know, what do you think so far, 15 laps into this race?
It's been a good one so far. William Lambrose is just pacing the field. So it's been really surprising to me by William Lambrose, as you said, still working his way into the modified scene, known as a road racer, coming over from the TC America Series before this year. But Will Lambrose today looks like he's been a modified driver for many a year, outpacing guys such as Burt Myers and Jimmy Blewett.
Still making sure all the fluid is cleaned up from this racetrack. Will Lambrose leading this field. That car, it's not a new car, but it was wrecked 1 week ago. Fortunately, the chassis was okay. A lot of suspension parts. Brand new body on the Will Lambrose car. He's out of Northport, New York. He runs the IMSA series, a road racer, and right now leading his first laps in smart competition. Behind him, one of the veterans of modified racing, both north and south. Jimmy Blewett, one of the most charismatic drivers you'll ever meet. True tough guy, one heck of a good guy, and competing with the Smart Modified Tour in the first 4 events of the year. 7-time Turkey Derby winner from Wall Stadium up there in Belmar, New Jersey.
And how can you not love Jimmy Blewett? And, of course, last week it was very unfortunate. Bob had the push rod, get stuck in the engine, didn't even get to see him race at all over at South Boston. Though, he's off to a good start this season, though. Got himself a 4th place over at Caraway a few weeks back.
And right now in 2nd, but 3rd right behind him, the winner from 1 week ago in that Pace-O-Matic 7 VA for Bill Stanley and Hermie Sadler. Luke Baldwin, what a talent he is. Just 17 years old, 3rd-generation modified racer. His granddad, Tiger Tom Baldwin, one of the best in the business in modified racing. Lost him years ago, unfortunately, in a crash at Thompson Speedway. Luke's dad, a Daytona 500 winning crew chief in the NASCAR Cup Series for Ward Burton back in the day. And Burt Myers' problem for the CitraSafe Grill Cleaners, peanut patch number 1. He is stopped on the racetrack down in turn number 1. That's a bad break for Burt Myers, the Pace-O-Matic Pole Award winner. Was hoping for a good run here today. Not exactly sure if he can't get that car fired or what the problem is for Burt Myers.
And Burt Myers really tried to keep the pace up with some of these teenagers. Luke Baldwin and Carson Lofton at the top of the standings. Burt Myers right now sitting at 4th. But this would really tank his season if he's not able to get this one refired, Bob.
Yeah, still a long way to go in this season, but he was running 6th in this race and a definite contender to head to Pace-O-Matic victory lane here today. The champ from last year had 3 wins in that championship season. The 3rd time he's won the title in the Smart Modified Tour. Big development for a championship contender here today. Burt Myers getting pushed right now early in the Cardinal 99 at Tri-County.
And already a heavy hitter seeming to drop out in Burt Myers. 2 heavy hitters, Bob. We've seen Brian Lofton already leave the field, a former winner at this racetrack, and now seeing Burt Myers go out. Some of these guys who have not yet to get a win this season have got to be licking their chops at this moment.
A little slow pace early on with that fluid being put down, and now Burt Myers stopping on the racetrack. We're going to keep our eyes peeled on this to see what this team is going to work on as the tow truck pushes Burt Myers' number 1 machine to pit road. Comes to the attention of his team. They're taking the hood off of that race car. Looking down into the carburetor area. Took the air cleaner off. Right now, Burt Myers is not able to get that car fired. So as Burt Myers is on pit road, coming off of turn number 4, the drivers will see the Citrus Safe choose cone. This is where drivers get to choose the inside or outside groove for the restart. Baldwin choosing the top side as the 3rd place car. That car, maybe a little more momentum up to the top. And remember, the groove here at Tri-County is not right down at the bottom. It's kind of right in the middle of the track, Ryan.
It sure isn't, Bob. And we see Ryan Newman be able to take the inside. He started on the outside to start the race. He's dropped back a little bit, going behind Jimmy Blewett and Luke Baldwin. We'll see if he works on the inside just a tad better for Ryan Newman.
You see Burt Myers' team down on pit road still trying to figure out what has gone awry on the number 1 machine. You know, we saw Ryan Newman take a big hit in his championship quest. Usually with a 15-race schedule, you're going to have one of those outings. That could be here today for Burt Myers if they don't figure out what's going on with this number 1 machine. Will Lambrose, the leader of the opening laps of this race, will bring it around for the green flag next time by. Jimmy Blewett in the 99 for Jamie Tomeno alongside. Tomenos and Blewetts have raced together for a long, long time. They're out of the same town in New Jersey, Howell, New Jersey. And now they're partnering together. Jimmy Blewett trying to capture his first Smart Modified Tour victory of his career. In the Pace-O-Matic restart zone, Jimmy Blewett fires. Will Lambrose, don't know if he missed a shift or if he spun those tires, but Lambrose does not get the start he needs. It'll be a yellow flag. Lambrose spinning his tires off of turn number 4. Now remember, Will Lambrose told us before the race he's a bit nervous to pace this field. And Lambrose spins his tires. The caution does come out. We'll try this one more time.
And you got to think Lambert's still getting used to these circle tracks, Bob. And he's got to see just a little mistake there, spinning the tires on the outside. Jimmy Blue was sure happy to see him go right by.
Hey, Lambrose is a talented chauffeur in that 77, but he's still getting used to the circle track prowess as a road racer in the IMSA circuit. One more time and we'll go back green flag racing. And Lambrose needs to fire off of turn number 4. Blew it alongside. And just to give you perspective on that one, everybody ready to go. Lambrose maybe spins those tires. Tomeno, number 99 with Jimmy Blewett in the cockpit of that race car, went as soon as he saw Lambrose step on the gas, and then the disparity there, and that's why we did have that caution to slow things down. They pick up the pace. Lambrose going to fire off a turn number 4. Much better this time around for Lambrose in the 77.
Jimmy Blewett still able to get a good jump on the outside. It looks like he's going to work down inside in front of Will Lambert to lead him into turn 3.
Showtime in the lead of the Cardinal 99 at Tri-County. Now, Luke Baldwin, hot on the back bumper of Will Lambrose. Both of those cars PSR machines. Wow, craziness. A little bit further back in the field. Side by side from about 5th on back.
Let's see, working the turn. We saw Ryan Nimitz slide up the turn just a little bit going into turn 2 a second ago. So he's settled back down. He's going to work right into the 4th place now.
Blake Barney in the 27, the 0-2 of Joey Coulter. Going at it inside the top 10. That's a battle for 7th between the 27 and the 0-2. Oh, Jason Myers, we saw that just barely from our FloRacing cameras. Jason Myers goes around and it winds up collecting a couple of cars down in the corner. Myers appears unscathed, but Chris Finacciario in the number 8 machine is up on top of the Pace-O-Matic number 16 for Jonathan Cash. Cody Norman in the 31 also involved down in turn number 1. Another caution early in the going here of the Cardinal 99 in Granite Falls, North Carolina. Gonna have to get the tow truck out there to get that car lifted off of Jonathan Cash's machine. Finacciario, by the way, super stock competitor from upstate New York, ran part-time with the Smart